Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage on the actual seaside. I got the chance today to drive this, a Volkswagen LT35 military ambulance from the Danish military. And the funny thing about this is I own one pretty much exactly the same, so it's going to be a nostalgic trip. Unfortunately, I do not have much time, so it will be a bit superficial video. I won't have time to open up to the engine or anything like that. And it's full of stuff, so I won't go inside the car either. I'll just show you and go for a drive. And as mentioned, I owned one of these myself quite a few years back. I have a photo of it right here, I think. This was produced in 1987, just like me. No, actually that was the year before, but anyway, long story. These were converted by the Danish military, I think at least. They were fitted with a rear axle with differential lock, for instance. I think also lower gearing, and then fitted with the isolated box and medical equipment in there. Mine was not exactly, or the model was the same, but you can take a look at these. There was a lot of these in Denmark and still is. This is called S4. Mine was called K4. That meant that mine drove in Kosovo and this one drove in Bosnia as a part of the stabilization unit. This belongs to my brother-in-law, and he just came by to pick up his W123 that I changed the clutch on. And as mentioned, he got cool cars, and I asked if I could go for a ride in this because it's a bit nostalgic for me. I really miss mine. It's a wonderful boxy car with a lot of room. And as mentioned, a party piece with a differential lock that makes it a lot more usable, because it's very easy to get stuck in a car like this with rear wheel drive unless you have a lot of weight in the back, but normally you don't. So yeah, it also comes with a pretty cool roof rack. This one has just been registered for private use, and yeah, it's just a cool car. Let's take it for a spin. So as mentioned, he wasn't expecting me to take it for a ride, so it's not been cleaned or anything. But and it doesn't really matter either, it will drive exactly the same. But this right here is the engine cover. Down there we got a 6-cylinder 2.4 diesel engine with no turbo. There is of course a preheater right there. Also a cold start choke over here, I'm pretty sure of. At least it wasn't mine. Let's just fire it up. And it's running nice, very nice. These stickers were exactly the same on mine, so the military must have put these on. The responsibility is yours. Do not drive if you are tired, sleepy or sick. Could have written drunk also, but anyway. This vehicle is a road vehicle. It should only be used on paved roads, which is a bit weird because you should not use the differential back here, the lock, unless you are on gravel or stuff like that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure mine also had a sticker saying only 80 kilometers per hour. The gearing is a bit low on these. My brother-in-law put on bigger wheels to just put the gearing up a little bit. Just gonna blip the throttle, yeah, to make it start charging and whining. It stopped, luckily. But let's go for a ride. It's reverse where I'm used to having the first gear. I couldn't remember that, but I can remember the feeling of driving one of these the first time. This was the first really big van that I ever drove. I had a couple of T25s or T3 there, so they are also called synchros before this. But this one is just a lorry comparing it to that. It's a big one. It's fun to be back. I might add, I like these better than the T25 because I like the T25 or T3 synchros and non-synchros also. It's just a bit too, it's just a bad design in my opinion with the engine in the rear and the underpowered engine. This one is way better with the engine up here, and the 2.4 6-cylinder diesel engine is a lot better than the 1.6 4-cylinder turbo ones in the T3s. They're just eating their head gaskets for breakfast. But yeah, this is fun. It's fun to be back in one of these. now we are on paved roads. And we can go into third gear already, even though we're just crawling. And yeah, as mentioned, it belongs to my brother-in-law who came to pick up his Mercedes W123 2.4 diesel non-turbo, and he was just like, "Oh, I have forgotten how fast it is." And I hate to tell you, but you have some really slow cars. But yeah, comparing it to this one, the W123 is rather quick. But yeah, the old school diesel engines without a turbo, you just need to take it slow. But they will just go on forever without a turbo to overheat stuff and break down. It's just a machine that will go on and on and on and on till the end of the world, probably. Currently I am in fourth gear, full throttle. Maybe we should go to third. It's a bit uphill right now. Yeah, it doesn't really do much difference though. Fourth gear again. But this is a 5-speed, which is pretty nice. In theory, it's only a 4-speed because the first gear is a really, really low one. I think it's a kind of crawl gear fitted to the military versions of these. I'm not sure though, but I think so. And because of the nature of this vehicle, there are some stuff that reminds you of the past of it. And this one up here is one of them. This I used when I owned one for a umbrella, but it's not only for a umbrella, unfortunately. There is a more sinister backstory to these cars, but of course these were ambulances and probably not in fighting per se. But it's part of the history of these vehicles. Of course, the big red cross on the rear tells a story about trying to save people rather than just kill them, which is a good thing, I think. Another fun thing for me in this car is that if you know me and the channel, you will know that I currently drive a Porsche 924 as a daily. And that down there, the handbrake, is exactly the same part as in my Porsche. And there are other parts also that are completely the same, like the light buttons and I even think maybe the stalks. It's it's known to be a cheap man's Porsche with a lot of LT parts in it. Not the same engine, not in this one at least, but you can get the LT with the same engine as my Porsche. Right, that's the rear gear once again. The reverse is just exactly where you would suppose the first gear to be. Is that called a dog leg gearbox maybe? I'm not sure. But anyway, as long as there is no people behind me, it doesn't matter too much. But it's really nice to drive these. They are very soft in the suspension, even without any load in it. It's not heavily packed at the moment. There is stuff in the rear, but not heavy stuff. Of course it is fitted with a lot of isolation and stuff in the roof rack and all that, so it's a heavy one to begin with. I'm pretty sure that the 35 in the LT model name is the total weight of the car, 3,500 kilos. You could also get a 28 and 25 and so on. Yeah, there's no reason to use the first gear unless you are stuck or going up a very steep hill or something like that. It's just almost not making the car move. It's for use with the differential lock probably. Oh no, it almost feels a little bit planned, but I'm a little bit stuck. But no worries, I'm just gonna pull the differential lock. How nice is that? disengage it. I got a red light in here now because it's on, and it won't necessarily just disengage. I have to turn all the way around, so I have to go into that pit once again. There we go. There we go. The differential is locked. Oh! I'm actually really stuck. I better engage the differential lock once again. Oh! There we go. Love it. Disengage. Oh, by the way, if you like these kinds of cars, the old military kind of cars, I highly suggest that you check out a colleague of mine, formerly known as Team Army Truck, but he changed the name of the channel to KJ Off-Road, I think. I will write it, and there will be a link in the description. He is from the same island as I live. He also makes YouTube videos in English, or Danglish as we call it. And he got a lot of cool military vehicles, not only Danish, but he got a Humvee, for instance. Pretty crazy. I like to borrow that one day. That could be fun, but I don't even know if I'm allowed to drive a truck that big. But anyway, but check that out if you like these kinds of vehicles. It's fun. But I think it's time to try to do a power run and get this to 80. Just to show you, first gear is like this. Clutch out. If I give it some throttle. I think you get the picture of this. No reason to use first gear unless you really need to go slowly. And you can start it in second gear, probably also third, but no problem in second at least. So let's go. Fourth gear, flat out. We're doing just shy of 50 kilometers per hour. Let's go into fifth and get some of that low down torque of the 6-cylinder diesel engine. Nothing happens. And we are at 60. 60. And we are currently still sitting at 60. Oh, 65, I think. And now we're closing up to 70. And it feels a little bit faster than 70 because everything is sailing a little bit. Yeah, I'm not going to reach 80 on these roads. It would be a bit too much, I think. But it's capable of it, and I know my brother-in-law drives, I think, 100 kilometers per hour in it on the highway, which, as far as I know, is not allowed in the military at least. But without a lot of weight, I think it will be fine. Especially with the bigger tire that he fitted to it, because it will change the gearing and the acceleration a little bit. So yeah, but oh, it's fun to be back in this. It's a lot of fun. Unfortunately, as mentioned, I do not have time to show you the engine or the rear of the car, and I actually have to be back in a short while. So I'm returning back to base now, and then I will wrap this video up. I just couldn't resist the chance of going for a ride on this because it's a nostalgic thing, and I know a lot of you guys would think it's an awesome car also. It's yeah, it's interesting for sure. So this is going to be all for this video. I do hope to see this car back on the channel one day. Oh, it's very bumpy here. Maybe first gear is actually all right for this. Because if it breaks down, then maybe I'm going to fix it, who knows, but it is a little bit too big to get into the garage, so probably not. But it's very fun to be back in this. I wish I had more time to drive it around, because it is a lot of fun. And I hope you enjoyed it also. And thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.